Today, I'd like to introduce the CDCA, CTS/CSE Database Compliance Analyzer, the medical database comparison and analysis software developed by WhaleTech. This software performs comparisons with databases required by IEC 60601-2-25, IEC 60601-2-51, and YY0782. The two main databases are CTS and CSE. Take IEC 60601-2-25 as an example. The standard contains 3 tests, including amplitude testing using the CTS database, interval and duration testing using the CTS database, referred to as absolute interval and absolute duration, and interval testing using the CSE database, referred to as biological interval. First, let's start with amplitude testing. Select CTS amplitude to show amplitude test items. In IEC 60601-2-25, the CTS database includes 17 databases such as ANI20000, AN2001, AN2002, Cal 5000, Cal 10000, Cal 15000, etc. There are 11 parameters, including P1, P2, Q, R, SJ, ST20, ST40, ST60, ST80, and T amplitude. So 17 databases and 11 parameters are listed in various combinations, such as ANI20000 and P1 amplitude, ANI20000 and P2 amplitude, ANI2001 and P1 amplitude, ANI2001 and P2 amplitude, and so on. All amplitudes need to be tested across 12 leads. Therefore, amplitude testing includes over 2,000 test items. Test results from the ECG machine for each parameter, such as P1 amplitude, must be entered into the table. These results should be filled in for each corresponding lead. Thus, completing data entry of over 2,000 items can be quite tedious. To improve the efficiency of data entry, the CDCA offers an import testing data function, allowing users to directly import data calculated by the ECG machine into CDCA. Here, there are CTS digital, CTS analog, CSE noise, and CSE digital data, which are the results calculated by the ECG machine. Take CTS Digital as an example. After clicking Open, all test results are imported, such as values related to P1 amplitude and P2 amplitude. Since the CTS database requires absolute interval and absolute duration comparisons, their data will also be imported into the CDCA. Therefore, test results of amplitude, duration, and interval testing required by the CTS database are all available in the CDCA now. Return to CTS amplitude. In the database, there are digital and analog database testing. For digital database testing, test results are calculated using algorithms by directly inputting raw data from the database into the ECG machine. For analog database testing, test results are generated by the following process. Raw data from the database is converted into analog waveforms using WhaleTech MECG 2.0. These analog waveforms are then input into the ECG machine, where they are converted into digital raw data and interpreted as the test results. The standard requires only one comparison result for the digital database. For example, for ANI20000, with 11 test items and 12 leads, only one set of test results is needed. Conversely, for the analog database, 5 comparison results are required, necessitating 5 different sets of test results to complete the required comparisons. Use digital data as an example. After selecting digital, click Compare to start the comparison. The reference values for the IEC 60601-2-25 database are listed in the standard. Users need to have this standard for the CDCA to perform comparisons. If users have the standard, check Yes and click Submit, then click Compare. and the CDCA will start the comparison. The comparison results will be displayed. Among the 11 parameters, for example, ANE 20000 has P1 amplitude, and AN 2001 also has P1 amplitude. So there are a total of 204 records for P1 amplitude. According to the standard, 2 records can be excluded, meaning the 2 worst records can be omitted from the calculation. Therefore, the comparison result is 193 passes and 9 fails. The final comparison result of P1 amplitude is failed, because even one fail leads to an overall failed outcome. You can see that S amplitude also fails, while other parameters pass. Scroll down for the detailed information. Here are the ANE 20000 test results. The yellow indicates the 2 records that can be excluded, which are the 2 highest values. This value of 1 is calculated by the ECG machine, and the reference value according to IEC 62601-2-25 is 77 microvolt with a tolerance of plus or minus 25 microvolt. The current reading is 1 microvolt, so the deviation is 76 microvolt, exceeding the requirement of 25 microvolt and resulting in a fail. Take another example. The recorded value is 1 and the reference value is 17 microvolt, with a tolerance of plus or minus 25 microvolt, so it's considered a pass. With this table, you can understand why each test result is passed or failed. Click Detail to show all 204 test results of P1 amplitude for comparison. Return to the Testing Results Summary page. Click Export Result Report to directly export test results to a Word file for further analysis. That's the entire process and results of the comparison. Let's return to the home screen and select CTS, Interval and Duration. There are parameters such as P duration, PR interval, QRS duration, and QT interval, collectively referred to as global interval, and other 3 parameters as Q, R, and S duration. To initiate the comparison, simply click Compare as before. Finally, there's a comparison of the CSE database. Since the CSE database is different from the CTS database, CSE test results calculated by the ECG machine need to be imported separately. After importing, you can see all test results are listed. In the CSE database comparison, only parameters such as P duration, PR interval, QRS duration, and QT interval are needed across 100 databases, totaling 400 test items. To initiate the comparison, simply click Compare as before. Since the CSE database is not publicly available in the IEC 60601-2-25, it must be purchased from relevant institutes. After purchasing the CSE database, an Excel file containing reference values for the database will be provided. Import this file into the CDCA to compare the test results calculated by the ECG machine with it. Then click Compare to start the comparison. The comparison results are similar to those of amplitude comparison. We've come to the end of our brief introduction to the CDCA. Thank you for your time.